we can build around it and sort of a reference in. So let's go ahead and bring in a sphere right over here. And let's move it up. I'm going to leave it as a standard sphere. Let's rotate it around a little bit. And I'm just going to rotate this 90 degrees so that the pivot or the pole is facing forward. Let's also reduce the size until it's roughly the size that we're going to want. I'll move it forward a little bit. So we need to bring it down a little bit more. Let's actually just use the radius setting instead of scaling it. So something like that. It's going to be close. Now I want to add a little bit of detail to the eye here. And so to do that, let's actually go into the sphere. I'm going to smooth this out a little bit. Let's say we're not going to be smoothing this, and so we'll just build that smoothness into the geometry. So I think 36 is probably pretty good. You can still smooth it if you want, but and so I want to come in and I want to figure out where I want the iris and where I want the pupil. So I think if we just use this as the iris and this is the pupil, it should work. So let's go in and I'm just going to select these polygons here. And to do that, I have to make it editable first. Come in and I'm just going to pull this in just like that. Okay, I can also scale it to kind of flatten it out. So something like that. And that's probably a little bit too far in, so maybe something like that. And if you want to make the pupil bigger, you can sort of do that. Let's see how that looks. Let's turn off our shading. Let me come in here and in the Phong tag, just set that to a lower angle there. And so that just allows us to see those hard edges. So with that sphere selected, let's go ahead and move it into position. I'm going to turn lines back on. Let's move it over here. You want to kind of get it in the, kind of close here. And again, it's a little bit too big, so we can kind of bring it down a little. And also I want to rotate it out a little bit. His eye is going to be kind of sticking out. So maybe something like that. Let's scale it down a little bit more. You can come to the two views here and kind of line it up that way if you want to. So it looks like I could stand to move it out a little bit. Okay, so something like that. You can see it doesn't match up perfectly, but now we have something in there where we can start to move around our head geometry to match up with the eye. So let's do that. Let's come in the next lesson and begin to modify the eye socket.